So a common question that I get all the time is, how do you even get into the mortgage industry? Most people kind of fall into this industry. I haven't really heard anybody that said, when I grow up, I want to be a loan officer. You don't hear that much often, but most times, or most of the people that I have met within the industry that's also a loan officer that I've met so far, they usually fall into this industry, or they have a mentor of some sort and they help them guide into the industry. I would say my story is a little bit unique. My first career of choice was actually to become a pilot. Then I realized being in the sky for long periods of time was not something that I wanted to do. And I was also going to school, but I knew I wanted to be in business. So I thought, okay, maybe I want to become an accountant, which I did pursue becoming an accountant. And I thought about getting into forensic accounting because that was kind of the career path I thought would always allow me to learn something new. And then I found someone within that industry and started to learn under them. And I realized that might not be the best fit for me. So I also had a mentor that helped numerous people within my family that was in the real estate industry and then mortgage business. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, I always thought about getting into real estate, but I don't want to just become a real estate agent. I want to do more of the finance side of things. Is there something within real estate that I can do and I can learn? So he said, hey, just come by the office and shadow me for a little bit and see if you like it. So I came to his office, my mentor's office, and I probably asked him 50 questions a day on just all these things that would pop in my mind about real estate. And I would say about 3 weeks within me asking him 50 questions a day, he pretty much just said, hey, why don't you just get your real estate, or why don't you just get your mortgage license and become a loan officer and work under me? And I thought about it. I said, well, what is that? I had an idea that people needed a mortgage for a home, but I never really knew what a loan officer was. Even though I was also going to school, I was going to school for accounting. I was realizing that, hey, people need money. I just assume accountants gave the money. I don't know what I was thinking, but he took me down to his wing. He told me, yeah, this is how loan officers make a living. This is what they do. And he took me under his wing and I started shadowing him and learning from him. He has, 30 plus years of experience. And I just continue to learn. And one thing about this industry that I enjoy a lot is that you're always learning. You're always going to learn. You're always going to continue to learn, and you're always going to get better. So I always believe you're neither getting better or you're getting worse. And in this industry, you're always going to learn. So there's certain niches that people stay within. So some people stay within residential, 4 units and below. Some people stay small apartment complex, 5 units to 20 units. And then you have people that focus on commercial residential, which typically are 20 units plus, or that's just what they focus on. So it depends on what your niche is. Some people are in real estate, they focus on commercial real estate, or commercial residential, or commercial industrial, or commercial land, or commercial hospitality buildings such as hotels, motels, stuff like that. Some people just focus on those things. I focus on residential single family homes. So residential single family homes, so that means single family homes, duplex, triplex, quadplex. I focus on those niches of things, condos, townhomes, those niches that are considered single family homes. And I provide financing for that as a loan officer. Do scale up to some commercial, but it's going to depend on the property. Under my mentor, I just came to him and I was asking him a lot of questions. And he told me, hey, why don't you become a loan officer? You're asking me 50 questions a day. I'm answering your questions. You're eager to always learn. And maybe you should just get your mortgage license because that's something that you think that would fit you best. Yeah, I took the exam, I passed. And then after that, I became licensed. I got under his wing, and then I started just learning his files and learning how he was doing things. But in this industry, you're always going to learn. That's one thing that I would say. If you're always willing to learn, you're always going to get better. You're always going to keep talking to people. People are going to ask you questions continuously. Some questions are very common, so you just know how to answer the questions. However, a lot of the questions you might get forces you to think, and you have to know the answer, because people are paying you to know the answer. They want to know that you know what you're talking about. So I always just take pride with me just learning as much as I can, so that when people do ask me questions, I can answer the question based on their situation, because everybody's situation is always going to be different. So what I mean by that is, there are people, like, for example, a situation might be different compared to a first-time home buyer to a second-time purchaser, or someone that's purchased multiple properties in the past, someone that's putting a minimum down payment down, or someone that's putting a high down payment down. So everybody's situation is different based on debt-to-income ratio, credit, income, stuff like that. So you need to know how to answer a lot of questions that are thrown at you. So that's one thing that I took seriously, was always learning. So this industry allows me to learn so much that not only can I answer questions, I know how to put together good game plans, because I feel as if I'm a very good game planner. So when someone comes to me and they say, hey, I want to obtain a mortgage, I'm trying to purchase real estate or purchase this property, and I want to be able to weigh my options. The best way for me to do that is to put together a game plan. So when I put together a game plan, I have to make sure it makes sense for everyone. You have to put together a game plan that's going to make sense for you to win the game. So my game plan is put into play to help the home buyer to win that property, or to get the best offer in and win that property, and so that we can close on that property. So that's how I structure my game plan to help people in their situation. So one thing that I would say, so people will ask, how do I get in this in? How do you get into this industry? How do you even know if you want to become a loan officer? Or a real estate agent? So I would say it depends on your preference and what you like and what you want to do. Usually when people ask me, how do you get into real estate, or they want to get in real estate, I typically try to figure out or advise them the best way I can, depending on what their interests are. Some people, because when a lot of people don't realize, there's probably 150 different jobs in real estate. There's so many jobs that you can do within real estate that you don't have to become just a real estate agent or a loan officer. You could become a title agent. You could work within a title company. You can become a real estate agent. You can become a loan officer, an appraiser, surveyor, contractor, subcontractor, general contractor. You can become a builder, a real estate investor. You become an architect. There's just so many things that you can do within real estate. You don't just have to become a loan officer and a real estate agent. So I think a lot of people don't take that under consideration, but there's so many jobs that you can do within real estate without having to be a real estate agent or a loan officer. So it's always something to think about. I would say it's going to depend on just your style and your preference. When you're in this business for long periods of time, you build a clientele and people love what you do for them, and you close them, say, this year. Typically the next time someone's going to purchase a home is probably the next 10 to 15 years, roughly, right? So if they get back out in the market, they want to sell their home and purchase another property, the first person they should want to reach out to is me. And I'm going to connect them with the real estate agent that they used, or a new real estate agent, depending on their choice, so that they can get their house listed on the market and sold, so they can find a new home. Or if they just decide to purchase a new home, I can help them with that transition as well. So a lot of people are in this industry for a short period of time. I would say I'm in this industry for a long period of time. Right now I don't have any gray hairs, but I'm probably going to be in this industry until I have gray hairs, until I'm 50 plus, 60 plus, so this is an industry that I enjoy, and I love what I do. So I just have fun with it and just keep going and working and helping people and making sure that I provide the best customer service and the best service possible for people that trust me to get a mortgage, because purchasing real estate is probably going to be one of the biggest purchases that someone is going to make within their lifetime. So I want to make sure that I'm providing them great options and they feel comfortable through the process. I want people to know, okay, well, when I was working with Anthony, or I was working with Lending Ben, I know, okay, he took care of me. He provided me great options. He made sure I felt heard, and he made sure that the process was smooth. That's my whole goal. I want to make sure that the process is smooth for everyone that's involved. They're trusting me to obtain a mortgage, because I know that's a big thing and I don't take it for granted. So I know that I have to provide the utmost respect and customer service to the people that trust me to obtain a mortgage from them, and also just be there for them because they're trusting me. So I want to be there when they invite me to things, stuff like that. Most loan officers, it's a number to them. The more deals they close, it's just a number. That's it. For me, everybody I close, I consider like an extended part of my family. So I make sure that I provide the utmost respect and customer service and service possible for them, because it's like a domino effect. When you do good, good will come. So the more I do good by the people that trust me to obtain a mortgage, good will come back to me. They're gonna say nothing but positive things about me, and that's what I strive for. So I just make sure that I provide the best customer service for the people that trust me. What skills are important? So a lot of people will know what skills are needed or important for you to be good in this or great in this industry. So what skills are important or good for you to be great within this industry? I would say just being able to talk to people. Being able to talk to people and have conversation with people is the most important thing, but also knowing what you're talking about. Especially if you're in real estate, you want to make sure that what you're saying to someone is accurate and it makes sense within their situation. Because there's so many different examples that or different scenarios within real estate depending on someone's financial situation. So you want to make sure what someone's financial situation is first, for you to understand how to put together a game plan or answer their question when they're asking you a question. So within real estate, I would say that it's essential for you to understand that you have a lot of power within your hands, and you want to make sure that you provide the best options for people. So I strive myself on making sure that I'm providing the best options to help people make their decision. So that's something that I would say, understanding how to talk to people, and just understanding the process on how real estate works and obtaining a property or obtaining a mortgage for any type of real estate. People say, how do you network some people would ask, how do you network within the real estate industry? Some people think there's some imaginary beefs between loan officers. Some people think that loan officers dislike real estate agents and real estate agents dislike loan officers, which is not really the case. Real estate agents, at least from my understanding, they want somebody that can close, that are communicating and making sure that everyone understands the process. And there's a clear understanding of what's going on in the process. So my thing is, some people say communication is key. I say understanding is key, because you can communicate a lot of stuff and people don't understand what you're saying to them. So you want to make sure that when you're communicating, everyone understands, or the buyer understands, or the real estate agent understands the process or the game plan that you're putting into play, so that it makes the process much smoother. So I would say most real estate agents, they want to deal with someone that's transparent, they communicate well, they make sure everybody has a clear understanding, and they get the job done and close. With a loan officer, I can speak from my experience, I want a real estate agent that is transparent, that's there, that truly cares for the client, or make sure that the process is as smooth as possible so that the buyer has a great experience for the both of us, because we're a team. It's a big industry, but you're always going to run into people in the industry over and over again, especially the people that are in the industry for a long period of time. For example, you're always going to run into people, or especially title companies and attorney's office, all the time. So if you're, for example, I'm in Florida. I am in the state of Florida. So when I'm closing deals, doesn't matter if it's from Tallahassee all the way down to the Key West, you're probably going to deal with a lot of different title companies and attorney's office. But if you're doing a good amount of business within a certain area, you're going to run into those title companies over and over and over again. So it's good to just have good rapport and good relationship and network with the title company, because when they see your file come in, or they say, oh, Anthony's over there and he's the loan officer on this file, they know, oh yeah, I worked with him with a couple deals in the past. Yeah, he's a real cool loan officer. He gets the job done. He's transparent. Oh yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy file. And just be transparent with the title company as well. And it's just, you just build relationships that way. And I would say it goes the same way with underwriters. So because I work for a brokerage, I work with a large number of different lenders. So I take relationships with underwriters very serious, which is very easy to build a relationship with an underwriter. Most underwriters are very different. So they're gonna follow the book. They're gonna make sure that everything makes sense because they are the gatekeepers to the money. See, they're gonna make sure that what you're uploading in the system or you're sending over to underwriting before they fund the mortgage, they wanna make sure that everything checks out and they're good to go, because they're lending out hundreds and thousands of dollars for you to purchase a property. So they want to make sure everything checks out, credit checks out, there's no surprises, you're still employed, you're still doing things that follow the game plan that we put into play from the beginning. They want to make sure that that's good to go. So with underwriters, I build relationships with them, and I know with certain underwriters and different lenders, what they look for. I know within those underwriters and that lender, or within that lender, those underwriters, what they look for. And then if I get a certain underwriter, because sometimes it's random on the underwriter that I would get, or sometimes it's consistent, I know exactly, okay, if I have a certain underwriter, for example, I get underwriter A. I know underwriter A looks for this, and this. I know their pet peeves. I get to understand, so I make the process smoother for them. So when they get my files in the future, they know, okay, yeah, every time I work on Anthony's files, I don't have a problem. He knows exactly what I look for. He makes sure my files is clean, make sure the files are pretty good, and they're real structured so that it makes their job easier and my job easier. So it's very important to just build relationships with people within the industry, because you never know who's gonna plug your name into different areas for you to branch out and network with other people and different builders and stuff like that. I would say just keep a good relationship with a lot of people.